Under the same moon, we share the love, embracing the differences like hand in glove. Spreading peace and joy, it's a beautiful sight.
That's the 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Together we shine in each other's light. United we stand in love's pure mind, watching the world share in love and light. Hearts beating as one in our peaceful flight. Colors of harmony painting the night. United we stand in love's pure mind.
All right. Thank you for tuning in to Watching the World. We have a nice little presentation prepared for lunchtime. I know a lot of people are probably busy at work. It's nice to get a break and perhaps talk about some things that could help us elevate in life as a whole. I want to tell you guys something that happened the other night to me. I had planned this panel for 3 individuals to come on, and guess what? Not one showed up. And they each had their own important reason, but did I blame the individuals? No, I blame myself. And let me tell you what happened. When I went on Tasha K Live, and she was kind enough to have me on her channel. Now, keep in mind, she has such a vast audience, and I was attending court. I went out there 30 minutes early. That's how important her channel was to me, so that I could grow and have a bigger audience. And I say all that to say this: we really treasure what we appreciate in life. And those things that we appreciate in life, that's what we're going to talk about today. And a big part of that is not for me to say, hey, these individuals didn't come on my channel. They had me looking crazy. They had me looking foolish. No, I have to take accountability for my own actions. And that's how in life I became very successful. And I have acquired more in this life than I ever imagined. And so last night I noticed that a lot of people had become members. And I said, wow, what a good way for me to spread my knowledge when it comes to making money. And I don't want you guys to think that making money is the biggest part of this life for me. In fact, I'm more on the end. I had a very religious background, so it's hard to lose some of the what I call programming in life. So to live simple, right? Now I came from like a Christian background, so you hear the scriptures that talk about living a simple life, right? So even though I'm pretty wealthy in life, I still live by those principles of being simple. Now, I'm going to show you guys some things. I'm telling you, if you just listen to what I show you, I'm going to help you make money. And some of you, I'm going to help, I'm going to give you money if you can show me that you can make a business plan and you really have you're very intentional about your life. This is what I'm committed to do for those who have invested in me in a way. You become members. You didn't have to do that, right? You could be out watching anything. Now, here's the thing. If you notice, Donald Trump and also most of the presidents or the higher ups in the United States, they have a big problem with TikTok. You know, one of those reasons is that people are scrolling so fast, and it's almost like China, who is a big investor in TikTok ownership. They're programming individuals. That's what they're doing. Programming individuals to think a certain way. And I just realized that I did not make this member only. So at any rate, we're going to continue with this program. I forgot to make this member only. So let me lay out some of the things that I'm going to be going over when it comes to the membership part of this channel. And welcome to everybody who's checking in. One of the main things is I try to encourage people is to take an evaluation of your life. If you're going to go on this journey for finance, you have to first understand where you sit, right? The average person don't understand what they have as their interest rate on their mortgage. A lot of people, when they purchase a car, you'll see the sign at the car lot says, we approve everyone, right? So you'll start that loan process. You're just happy to get into that Mercedes, right? You want to step up in life. You don't realize that they just gave you an 18% interest rate. And as the years go on and your credit is building, you just don't ever go back and change your rate. Go to a better bank now that you can afford something uh, better, or your credit score is much better. So now you can go back and change that interest rate down to the lowest rate of the day, maybe a 4 or 5%. And now you're able to save your money. With that money, now you can put it into a money market savings. You could put it into a CD. You could put it into a mutual fund. You could put it into an index fund, or you could invest in some of the stocks that I share with my I won't say my clients, but those who I know in personal life. I often share that type of knowledge. In fact, you'll see there's a guy on this channel. His name is Joe. He's probably watching right now. But Joe has often purchased some of these stocks, such as SoFi. Back when I was saying, hey, buy it, it's $6. So I was saying research it, because I try not to give financial advice. But research SoFi. Yesterday, SoFi hit $25. That means we went up $20 per share. And if you bought 10,000 shares, maybe if you only bought 100 shares, that's going to change the money that you have access to. And so that's what we're going to do on the membership side of this channel. And again, I started this off as thinking I'd set this as a members only, but it's okay. Here's another thing, because I get various emails from everyone. Some of the emails are asking about purchasing a home, and I have a strong background when it comes to finance and home purchase. But here's a strategy that we're going to talk about for those that are members. And each week I'm going to have different things planned out for you. But let's say, for instance, you're renting a home right now, and the average home is what, 2,000 for just a 2-bedroom here in New York. If you get a 3-bedroom, you're expanding your family. Now you're paying what, $2,500 for rent, right? Well, think about it this way. Imagine if you go and purchase a 2-family home and you utilize a FHA loan, paying 3.5% down. And let's say you're able to purchase a home at around 350,000. You're going to end up paying for your mortgage roughly what you're paying now for rent. And guess what? Your landlord is taking that extra money and he's going out on vacation. He's taking care of his family. You see what's happening? So if you go out, and I've helped so many people do this, and it's amazing, buy a 2-family home. Now you live in one side and your tenant live in the other. It's a temporary fix. It's a temporary step, right? So here's the key though. You're paying, let's say, $2,000, $2,500 for the mortgage, depending on how much you pay each month for your taxes and insurance, right? But your tenant is paying you 2,000. So your mortgage is 25. Let's say it's 2,500. You're charging your tenant next door, because you're now the landlord. You're charging him, let's say, 2,000. So now you're basically living mortgage free. Your tenant is paying for the mortgage. So now you have more money to at least invest or do something different, something very strong and positive, right? But the beautiful thing about it is this: after a year or two of paying that FHA mortgage, right? Now you move on to your single family home, and maybe you want to expand now and build a beautiful life for your family. And guess what? Now that 2-family where you were living in one side, maybe a duplex, now you rent the unit that you were in to someone else. And now you have 2 people in that same property. Let's say they're both paying 2,000. Now you have $4,000 coming in for that property, and you're still paying that $2,500 mortgage every month. So now you have a surplus to pay towards your new property. That's the way you have to move with intelligence when it comes to finance. But the problem is, when we go to school, a lot of people don't learn about finances. They don't really teach you about mortgages. And if you do a study, mortgages are one of the biggest investments of life is your home. Okay. So these are some of the things that we're going to be talking about. And then we get into other levels, such as investing in the stock market, which requires a lot of diligence when it comes to studying and understanding companies and how it works. But it's something that you can obtain if you take the time to study every day. Like, for instance, you wake up early in the morning, set aside 15 minutes to work out, another 15 minutes to strengthen your mind when it comes to making money and finances. But going back to the key principle here is understanding where you sit when it comes to your credit. Your credit score or your name is probably more important than anything in life. My grandmother would always say your name will carry you further than money, right? Your sometimes your reputation walks around the corner before you. People say, well, there's a guy with the wears the New York Yankee hat in a suit, or there's Mrs. Honest, or there's Mr. Lowlife, right? So your reputation will always introduce you before the words come out of your mouth. So when you factor in how important your name is, you'll understand why your credit is so important. Now, a lot of people only think about it's kind of like praying, right? People that are religious, sometimes they only pray when they need something. Maybe they get a new diagnosis from the doctor, or maybe they're trying to get a job, or maybe they want to overcome something in the family. So then they pray. It's almost like their God is a genie in a way, right? So the average person often only look at their credit. And again, I intended this video for the members section, but anyway, blessings to all. They only look at their credit when they want to buy something, they're buying a home. And then, for the most part, for years, I would sit with people and they were trying to purchase a home. And then all of a sudden, they're so interested in their credit score. But if you always have your credit score in mind, there are ways that you could do so. For instance, you could go now, if you don't have it already, and download Credit Karma. And Credit Karma will show you and also give you updates of where your credit score is. Because the higher your credit score is, the better interest rate you're going to get. And that's going to free you up for your hard earned money to use it someplace else, where I'm going to show you oftentimes it's better putting it in the market. Now, does it mean you have to go and invest in SoFi? No. There are other ways of investing that could help you sleep at night much better. Like, for instance, it all depends. There's a lot of evaluations. You can go to Google and kind of gauge where you are when it comes to investing and exactly how much risk you're willing to take. It'll factor in. In fact, I'll post one that I use quite frequently, but it'll help you understand at this age of 20, your risk level is usually here. You can do well. This is what your portfolio could look like. Now, it's always best to go to a professional, perhaps, but not all times is necessary. A lot of times you can get these things done by doing some serious research. A lot of times in life, I've learned when you go to the professionals, they'll choose a product that's going to pay them the highest commission. You follow? That's why, like in the mortgage industry, they changed all the rules because when the market crashed in 2008, it was because people were getting these no doc loans. Well, the no doc loans were paying the mortgage and professionals like 15,000 a deal, insane amounts of money, and oftentimes greed will lead to ruin, right? We understand that. So these are some of the principles that we're going to discuss. I am so happy that some of you have chosen to become members, and I have so many different strategies that I can't wait to introduce. Now, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm trying to help you understand certain principles and what has caused me to be quite successful in what I do. And it's just my way of giving back. It's not for everyone. Not everyone's going to appreciate and love the same thing. But what I do want to say is that money is not everything. I would say it's better to live a simple life, because what happens is people might get a large amount of money and they start to fill in their monthly income. Let's say, for instance, they receive 10,000 a month, right? Instead of living on five and investing the other five, they want to get a better car, bigger house. Then they're spending their $10,000 every month. All it takes is one illness in the family, one payment loss, and their whole life starts to spiral out of control. And this is what we're talking about, staying motivated to really understand what's going on in your life. It's very important. I've had so many people over the years, they refinance their home and they pull out equity from the home to pay off $10,000, $15,000 in credit card debt. Now, isn't that beautiful when you have that ability to make all of your credit card debt go away? And now you're putting that debt in your mortgage and probably at a 3%. Remember when rates were down to 2%? But here's the problem. In most cases, people did not change their habits. For some reason, I would get a lot of nurses or um, people in the medical field. And there's nothing against that. But what I'm saying is this: they would go right back out and then fill those credit cards right back up with another 15,000 because they didn't evaluate their lives and change their habits. And that's very important. If you're not willing to change the way you think, then you're going to keep repeating the same vicious cycle and same mistakes. In fact, I've lived long enough now to know that some of us are reliving the mistakes of our fathers. And we don't really respect in this life genetics and how much the genes pass on from one generation to the next. And I won't get into all of that, but what I'm trying to tell you is that some of these principles that we're going to study and work at together, I think it's going to be beneficial because already I've had people emailing me and we've been able to make some progress and change the way you think about things. A lot of times it's just a little tweak in your thinking can mean so much as far as advancing in life. But my goal is for everyone in my circle is to become wealthy. I think it's very important, but a lot of us don't come from a background where we grew up and we saw wealth. So we have to be the individuals to make the change. So for the next generation, they can be ahead of the curve. So that's the idea, and that's the spirit of what this whole thing is about. Now, when I say money is important, it's very important. And you realize that when you don't have money. A lot of people don't have money right now, and Donald Trump's economy is probably one of the strongest economies. A lot of people don't want to hear it. But right now, the market is moving heavy, and Donald Trump is creating a lot of plays. I say plays, but I'd say investment strategies that's causing tremendous wealth for people. But the problem is, a lot of us, we're so caught up in swiping. We don't want to read a book. There's so many things that we're missing out on, or perhaps we've been burned by other people. And so we totally throw the baby out with the bathwater. Oh, I don't want to, somebody burn you with day trading, and now you want to throw out investing altogether. And that's how we fail sometimes because we're not seeing beyond the troubles that we go through. Even though troubles are our lot in life, there's always a next trouble coming. But if we move with intelligence, I think we'll all be much more successful. My last point that I want to stress: this is not just about money. If money starts to identify you and you start to label yourself as the money, then when you lose it, you're going to lose yourself. And that's the thing about this life that's so peculiar. All of us try to associate ourselves with labels. We're great. We're a doctor. We're the pastor. We're the deacon, right? We're so stressed out to have a label, something that we can identify with. And guess what? When you feel like the church is turning their back on you and the pastor says, "You're no longer a deacon. Now the man's ready to go. He's totally done with his life because he made his deaconship so powerful in his own mind." So when it comes to money, we're definitely trying to elevate. We're trying to do better in life. That's what this group is about. We're working on it, right? But we don't make money our God. We don't make money our everything, because there's always going to be ups and downs in life. And when those days come, if you made money your everything because this is what people see you as, it's going to be a hard fall. So it requires a balance. The mere fact that we're keeping it simple, we're understanding where our finances are. We don't just have it buried away. We understand, okay, my interest rate is a 7% on my house. Interest rates now are 3%. I think it's time to refinance. Let me pull up a chart. Let me ask Mel, what would my numbers look like? Now, I'm not in the business, but I know the numbers. And I don't, it's not about a service. I'm not offering some financial service, but what I am offering is a place of synergy so that we can actually build together, because it's needed at this time for us to elevate. And if we're not careful, we'll let this media and we'll let negative people cause us to stay backwards in life. I do not want to go back. It's beautiful to be at a level in life where you can buy anything that money can buy, but it doesn't mean you have to do it, right? I would say live under your means as much as you can versus living beyond your means, because you're setting yourself up for your next heartbreak. And that heartbreak won't involve anyone else, it'll just involve you. It'll involve me because I'm not living in accordance to intelligence. So these are some of the things that we're going to be going over. I get a lot of emails. So as I get the emails, I will prioritize to make that the business of the day. This video is going to be going to the membership section because this is where it was supposed to be. And I made that mistake, folks. So anyway, thank you guys all for your support. I really do appreciate it. And I look forward to talking to the members more about some of these things that concern you. And quite frankly, it's beautiful to have a place where you have like minded individuals looking to elevate. Now, one last thing I forgot to mention. I went through last week how many of you can start your own business, right? We're also going to go through how you can use Google AdWords, right? And when you start off with your business, which I have been encouraging everyone to do, start your own business. AI is coming. You also have a lot of people that are um, coming from different countries. Some of these individuals have 2 and 3 degrees. It's very imperative to start your own business. Not only that, you can pass it on to your next generation. A lot of times you have teenagers, you can show them how to start their business. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm going to go through how to use Google AdWords to really advance. Also, Facebook ads. These are things that I've used over the years. And believe me, they make the phone ring the next day. I would venture to say, put any business in front of me and I can show you how to use Google AdWords. And here's the kicker that most people don't realize. I think right now Google has a $500 credit they give you right off the bat to go toward the keyword. So in other words, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but when an individual, let's say you have an ice cream shop, when a person clicks in ice cream near me, your business comes up number one because you're in the paid sponsorship area. So these are ways that you can systematically set yourself up to have the phone ring, and not just starting a business, getting a few business cards like back in the day, passing them out. Technology has made it possible for you to advance and to advance quickly. Also, Facebook ads as well, but it's a matter of understanding. So, we're going to go through a lot of these different features and I'm going to show you how to set it up and all of that. So we have a lot to look forward to. It's only for people who want to be involved and who want to do it. We're not begging anyone to participate, but a lot of people, a lot of my members have expressed interest. There's no fee, there's no anything. All you have to do is check out the video, but you have to make a commitment to yourself. It's just like losing weight, building muscle, anything else. Once you make up your mind, you have to put in the work every day. And that's what we're going to do. It makes it easier when you have individuals like minded who are holding you accountable and also asking questions and participating as well. So that's what we're going to do, folks. And I look forward to being a part of the mission. And again, um, you have to stay focused on you because in most cases, and I hate to say this, most people are self-serving. And if you evaluate the people in your life under most circumstances, you'll see that there's something that you're providing that they need. And sometimes when you no longer provide that thing, they'll kick you out, folks. They'll put you right out. That's the way this life works. So you have to take control of you, and you have to be the one to better your credit score, start your business, or if you have a business, elevate your business. If you have a mortgage, pay your mortgage bi-weekly. So instead of paying it over 30 years, just by paying your mortgage once every 2 weeks, you cut 6 years off of the loan. So now you're paying off your mortgage in 24 years. Like who tells you this type of information so that you can advance and elevate? See, these are the things that we will continually go over, and I look forward to going over it with you. All right, so let's see who we have in the audience. Sorry, guys, I didn't pay attention until now. Bordeaux is here. Shout out to you, Bordeaux. Hello, everyone. I'm everywhere. Okay, Bordeaux, enjoy your work. Eric is here. Nice to see you, Eric. We have Sharon in the building as well, Mashona. All right, we have a new person, Al Coy. Welcome, Al Coy. Nice to have you here. And Dave Cody. Okay, nice. Nice to see you. Wow, new face, new names here. Okay, let's see. Have someone here happen there. I guess it started reading automatically. All right, so Germany done what Germany's done, and the world was freed from slavery and colonizers. Okay, thank you for the input. We're talking about slavery. Okay, Mashona says, so true, Mel. I like that we're having this discussion. Yeah, this discussion is very important. And we have Driss in the building. I want to build my body. Okay, whatever you're trying to do, I wish you the best with that. But the key ingredient is having your own willpower, because there's so many distractions out here today. But we're all going to work toward it. And thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this video will be in the membership section. I did not click the membership button, but anyway, thank you all for being here. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Or, oh, by the way, the stock that I recommended, Rocket Lab, that was $3 a share, I think, when I started promoting it. That stock is set to blast more, and currently is $50+ So can you imagine the gains that we had on Rocket Lab? SoFi went up $20 a share. So right now we're winning, but we have to make the right decisions by feeding the mind with more information, doing the research, and doing the grub work, folks. So thank you for tuning in. Okay, Mashona, I'm going to respond to your email. I saw it before I started this live in regards to Grab. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of what I think about that stock. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you again on the next video.
Different voices, but the same song. Building a world where we all belong. Kindness leading the way, breaking the chains. In the symphony of love, the thing remains. Embracing diversity, brighter days in sight. Watching the world share in love and light. United we stand in love's pure might.